everyone. This is Mandy Ray of Ecstatic Astrology, and I'm here for Asteria Sophia Kairos's weekly forecast. Today we're doing December 10th through December 17th, and it's always Wednesday to Wednesday, which is helpful because the middle of the week is called Hump Day for a reason. So let's get an overview of the next few days, and that's going to be December 10th is Neptune direct. And also we have Mercury in Scorpio opposite Uranus and Taurus. December 11th, Mercury enters Sagittarius. December 14th, Mars in Sagittarius squares Neptune in Pisces. December 15th, Mars enters Capricorn. And December 16th, Sun in Sagittarius squares Saturn in Pisces. So we're going to go through these one by one. I'm going to try to give you an overview that is helpful for planning your week. And just in general, I really love that this helps us get a hold of what things might feel like. So let's start off with December 10th, Neptune direct. So we've got a person, it's an emoji with a cloud above them. Neptune rules dreams, inspiration. It rules sometimes confusion, sometimes spirituality. It just really depends on where it's at in your chart and how it's working. But in general, when Neptune goes direct, I find it a lot easier to access the inspiration and to access the spirituality that Neptune can represent. So for around 6 months, Neptune is retrograde. And I think that makes it a little harder for us to kind of direct spirituality or to access it. And so when it goes direct, it can be quite profound in that we feel like maybe we have more inspiration, more ideas, maybe a little more agency over that part of ourselves. Neptune is the subconscious, so you really don't have a whole lot of agency there, right? But you have a lot more when it's direct. So I'm looking forward to Neptune direct. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it and what it might feel like for you. It's going to be going direct in Pisces and going into Aries next year. We've already had it dip into Aries once, and it's just a very, very different feeling than Neptune and Pisces, because Pisces also rules the subconscious, spirituality, dreams, inspiration. So when Neptune is direct in Pisces, it's even that more profound with regards to those topics. On the same day, just later on that day, we've got Mercury in Scorpio opposite Uranus and Taurus. So Mercury in Scorpio really digs down deep and wants to get to the heart of things. We've had Mercury retrograde. It's still in its shadow at this point, meaning it's still retracing its steps. It's already opposed Uranus a few times. This will be the last time during this cycle that it will oppose Uranus and Taurus. Uranus, on the other hand, is about unexpected events, sometimes freedom, sometimes revolution. It could also be a point in which we get surprises. So with Mercury, which is our minds and the way we communicate, in Scorpio, which can also bring up fears or secrets, I do expect that this can be a surprise, something we don't expect, especially on the mundane level. If you watch the news, even down to things like volcanic eruptions and earthquakes can happen with Mercury opposite Uranus. So Uranus in Taurus is about kind of shaking up our value system, what really matters to us. And on a macro scale, it can also be even economics and supply chain issues, right? So I do expect this news day to be super interesting. But with regards to our own lives, the micro, I would suggest that you keep an open mind that day. There could be ideas that are out of the box, which is why I have a light bulb coming out of a box. But also unexpected news or information could pop up this day. So it's really a whole lot easier when we keep an open mind and almost expect the unexpected in order to, I guess, be prepared for it. You know, you can't really prepare for unexpected events, but we can keep an open mind and decide we're going to surf the waves instead of fight them. All right, then we've got December 11th, which is Thursday, Mercury enters Sagittarius. Pretty excited about that because Mercury in Sagittarius is adventurous. Mercury's moving really fast at this point, and I have a map for a reason, because once Mercury goes into Sag, it's hard to keep our mouths shut. Sagittarius is quite an open and optimistic sign. And so Mercury in Sag is actually viewed as in detriment. meaning it doesn't operate as well in Sagittarius because its home is the opposite sign, Gemini. However, I love Mercury in Sagittarius. It is adventurous, optimistic, and fun, jolly. It's a comedian. So I look forward to Mercury in Sagittarius. It's also my own Mercury sign. And it's something that we do have to watch out for, though, because we might say too much, we might do too much. But in general, it's going to be a whole lot more jolly than Mercury in Scorpio. It's still in its shadow till the middle of the month. So we're still retracing steps. It's been in Sagittarius already. It decided to go retrograde. So this is not new territory for Mercury right now, but it does have us thinking about our philosophies, what the world means to us, where we want to go, what we want to do. And of course, we've got Venus, the Sun, and Mars there in Sagittarius as well. Mars is getting ready to leave. So this is a lot of buildup in Sagittarius, which is social. It wants to have fun. It wants to, I guess adventure is my favorite word, but tell stories. So this day I'm really looking forward to, but yeah, you might want to mind your words. All right, December 14th, Mars in Sagittarius. It squares, here we go, Neptune in Pisces. So Mars in Sagittarius is also one of these transits that is adventurous, that wants to go, 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 do, do, do. But when it squares Neptune, it's a little confused. And of course, it's doing it at what's called the anaretic degree. That's 29 degrees. 29 degrees of Sagittarius is known as the degree of crisis. I don't necessarily like to sow that into people's brains because then they get worried. And that is not something that needs to come from this particular forecast. But it is a moment where we have to make a choice, make a decision. That's a little harder to do when you have a square to Neptune, because Neptune can be confusing. It can be fog. It can be like, I just don't see the way or which way I should go. But what we can do during these transits, and squares are stressful aspects, what we can do during these transits is we can tap into spirituality, meditation, inspiration, creativity. If you can't figure out what to do this day, my advice is to not worry about it. It's to let your mind wander, to not necessarily make too much of a big deal about making the decision, because the decision will come the next day. So what is the next day? Well, that is when Mars enters Capricorn. That is the decision-making transit. Capricorn is a place that Mars loves. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Capricorn is the sign of success and structure, achievement. And you can see that's why I have a person trying to achieve a goal, which is exactly what we'll be doing. I love that the flag here almost looks a little bit like a Sagittarius glyph because it just left Sagittarius. It was a little unsure, square, Neptune. But now that we've got Mars into Capricorn, it's going to be a lot easier to access decision-making, to access structure, and to get our stuff in order and get stuff together in a way that we can actually make progress. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. It's been a little bit of a rough go of it with Mercury retrograde. Mars in Sagittarius has squared Saturn. Mars has squared Neptune. So we had a lot of that going on with regards to, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I feel obstacles. Now with Mars in Capricorn, it's a lot easier to access that success, that achievement, and to make things happen. Of course, we're in the middle of the month here and we're quickly heading into the holiday. And so as far as that goes, it might feel like there is still a lot on your plate, and that's okay. Mars in Capricorn makes it a lot easier to deal with. Okay, rounding it out, this is the one that I'm not so looking forward to. But again, we don't need to be worried about these transits. We just need to think about it with an open mind. Sun in Sagittarius, square Saturn in Pisces. The sun is our life force. In astrology, it is the powerhouse. It is the amalgamation of everything because the sun is what gives us life on Earth. So when it comes to the sun squaring Saturn, Saturn is a bit of a wall, a bit of a hiccup. And, that's okay though, because what we're dealing with here is a moment where we have to look at what is holding us back and what do we do going forward. The good thing about this, though, is that Saturn rules Capricorn, and currently Mars is in Saturn's sign. So there is something to draw on here that we can go, it may be hard, but I can do it. So if you feel like things are a little nerve-wracking on December 16th, that's not just you. That is the vibes, okay? So Sun square Saturn, pretty quick transit, lasts a day. Won't be something we have to deal with for a long time, because soon after this, we will be rolling into the solstice and the sun will be in Capricorn. And then we can actually get more things done. So I know that this one is probably the least favorite of the week for me, but don't let it color your whole week. This is just something that we are dealing with because you know what? We had Mars square Saturn before this. We'll have Venus square Saturn after this. There are some moments that we're going to come up against some obstacles, and that's okay. Life is about obstacles, and squares move things forward. Squares are stressful aspects, but without squares, we don't get stuff done. All right, that rounds out the week, and I'm looking forward to it. There's some fun things. Mercury and Sag is going to be fun, and here we are. Actually, this is when Mercury leaves its shadow on the 16th. So again, while we're dealing with maybe this one stressful aspect, we have good things to draw on. And I'll be back next week for December 17th through 24th for Asteria Sophia Kairos. My name is Mandy Ray, and I'm with Ecstatic Astrology. You can find me at ecstaticastrology.com. Please visit asteriasophia.substack.com and give us a follow there. We are a collective of wonderful astrologers, and I look forward to being back next week.